Hey there, I'm Sherry, and this is Sherry's Recovery Corner. I'm so glad you're here, and I'm so glad you found me. Today, I just wanted to touch base with y'all and let you know how my visit went with my kids on Easter, and also give you kind of an update about what's been going around our house. One day I'll have my words correct. I hope you like the new background so far. It's been so fun making a little studio to be able to record in. And of course we had to put some tulips in there for my mama. And just because I love tulips, I grew up with them and they're just such a beautiful flower. I'm not a rose person. I'm either tulips or daisies. I love them. But I just wanted to let y'all know we got our new sink put in, and oh my gosh, I love it. I could just stand there and just wait for a dirty dish just to wash it because I just love my sink so much. We got the hot water heater put in. We've been busy on this vacation, y'all. And today I wanted to take a few minutes just to sit down, give y'all an update, and do some makeup. We'll be right back. Okay. So I'm going to do some makeup just to keep myself busy because I'm still really nervous at talking to the camera. So y'all please forgive me. And I just wanted to get my story out there and maybe it'll help somebody. I hope it helps somebody because we're all in this kind of together. It's been an epidemic with opiates and drug abuse and things like that. And if you know somebody, it affects your whole family. But back to what happened on Sunday. So, I had my rental car. I pick up my oldest on the way out. And that 3-hour ride was entertaining as on its own. My oldest, such a clown. I don't know vehicles very well. I had a little Honda Civic and it took me, I'm not even joking when I tell you, it was like 1.5 to almost 2 years that I figured out how to work the cruise control. Yes, I'm sorry. I can't help it. So, with that being said, in a rental car, a car that I've never driven before, we are on our way 3 hours north. We got about, I would say, it was at least 1.5 hours, about halfway, actually. We were about halfway, and I had the cruise control set, and along this 1.5 hours from the time I left the house, I had set the cruise control a few times, but, you tap the brake and it cuts it off. So I was doing that, whatever. Never noticed anything. It was fine. Well, we get to where there's a little more traffic, I guess you could say. And I had the cruise control on. It was a construction area too at that. So with that being said, we get into this area and I still have the cruise control set at, I think it was set at 76 or 74 maybe. Around 75, okay, we'll say. Because that's what it was. It was around 75 miles an hour. So we get to this area and I noticed with the cruise control set, mind you. And I noticed that the car, the rental, is losing speed. And I had the cruise control set at 74, I believe it was. And I noticed that it starts losing speed. It was down to 65 miles an hour. I'm like, what the heck is going on? I thought something was wrong with the car, for real. My oldest and me, I'm looking at my oldest. My oldest like, what's going on? I said, I don't know. The car's losing speed. So we get through that thinking I'm going to end up stranded on the side of the road or something because this rental is broke down, which was the whole reason why I rented a car, so I wouldn't be broke down on the side of the road. So waiting and anticipating at any moment for the car to break down, we keep trucking. And we get about another 30 minutes down the road, I would say it was. And I set the cruise control again, trying to see, because the car was running fine is what it appeared. So I set the cruise control again. There wasn't as much traffic. And it was fine. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And I notice on the steering wheel, there's this little button that has a car with some lines on it or whatever at the bottom. Like, I don't even know what this button is for, whatever. So we're going, and while I was in cruise control, I happened to push that button, and on the screen up by the speedometer and stuff, it popped up a distance with like some lines on it. I'm like, what in the world? No idea what is going on still. So we come up, I see a car, we're a ways back, but I see a few cars up ahead of us, and I'm like, okay. So I'm still trucking along with cruise control running, and I get a little closer to the car to where they weren't speeding up or anything. I was just catching up with them. They must have been going really slow. But as I got closer, I was probably at least 5 to 6 car lengths back. I noticed that the car started slowing down again. I'm like, what in the world is going on? And then it occurred to me. The car has a sensor on the front side of it to where if you got kind of like the Tesla self-driving cars or whatever, but it sensed that there was a car in front of me, so therefore it slowed down for me. I was amazed. And my oldest started laughing like crazy at it. So my oldest is laughing and whatnot, and I was like, my gosh, I swear, me only. We start going, and now that I know that's what's going on, I'm more aware, so I'm not freaking out. So we finally get there, and of course, my oldest and them, they had been talking, so they knew we were just about there, because I was driving, I didn't want to be texting and driving. So we get there, and I walk in, and it about broke my heart, because as much as I miss my kids, as soon as my youngest had seen me, I could see he automatically got like really nervous or scared for some reason. I guess it's just where he hadn't seen me for so long, and I was just like, oh my goodness. But regardless, I was still so excited to see them. I run up, I give my middle daughter a hug and a kiss, and then I run around the table and I give him a hug and a kiss, my youngest son a hug and a kiss, and let them know how excited I was to see them. Because man, was I. Just to be with them for a few moments, it was just, everything I had hoped and wanted and thought it was going to be. But during our dinner, because we had dinner, it was a nice little Tex-Mex restaurant called Tumbleweeds. It was really good. Anyway, during, talking, I figured, I thought my youngest had a lot of questions that I was more than happy to answer. I told him, that whatever he wanted to know, I wasn't going to lie to him. I had no reason to lie to him. And I still don't, I've never lied to my kids. Hid things, yes. But never lied to my kids. And I think that's probably why I pushed them away too. Initially with my addiction, was because I was not going to start lying to my kids. That's just not me. So I don't know if it was my middle daughter or me that brought up the subject of why. The question was, why did it take me so long to initially get back in touch with them to rebuild relationship, which we had been in touch for about the last couple of years anyway, but I hadn't been able to see them for sure. And as I simply told them, I wanted to make 100% sure that I was strong enough in my recovery to where I wouldn't relapse and disappoint them again or let them down again. Because at that time, I had let them down and disappointed them way too much already, to the point where it could have ruined our relationships completely. And if you're a parent out there, you know that those relationships with your kids are so precious. Like, my relationship with my mom was so, yeah, it had its ups and downs, but at the end, that was my mom, and I loved her to death till the day she died, and I still love her to this day. But those relationships are so precious, and like I explained to them, I did not want to disappoint you guys again. I had done enough. I'm trying to fix it now. I want to be able to fix it now. And as long as they are willing and able to give me the opportunity to prove to them, I'm all for it. And it really helped me, because for a while I didn't understand why I had waited so long to try to build those relationships back. And now I talked to my middle daughter today, because before I left, I had asked, can we make this, not necessarily a regular thing like every week, because of course it's a 3-hour drive, and I would have to rent a car for it, which is $100 a day. Maybe not every month even, but at least, every other month, at least at the bare minimum. And of course, if something would happen a month, I'm sure we can reschedule. But I told them to, if there was a day through the week, that would be a little better, so I wouldn't have to rent a car for 4 days for the weekend. So they said, well, probably like a Wednesday or a Thursday. I'm like, cool. As long as I know by the 15th of the prior month, I can ask off. Of course, May is already passed, or the request off for May has already passed, I should say, the date for that. So I wouldn't be able to ask for anything off until June. And I told him, just please let me know. So I've, kept sending in contact with them since Sunday, and today's Friday. And today my middle daughter says, well, what about, like the second, I think it was the second Thursday of the month, or first she said every month. And I said, well, I don't know if I can do every month, because that's $100 just for the car itself. If I can, by all means, I would absolutely love to be able to see them at least once a month, because I miss them so much. But at the same time, I need to be honest with them from the very get-go. If money's tight that month, I won't be able to financially. That is a little much, and I could probably swing, I can commit to the every other month without fear of having to put something else back on another bill or something like that. I'm sure y'all understand what I'm, budget-wise. There we go. I knew there was a word for it. I'd figure it out sooner or later. But anyway, budget-wise, I can do the every other month. If I can swing, between me and my husband, if we can swing the every month, by all means, I will let them know, and I'm sure they would be happy to do that. But again, we can't start doing that until June. So, I'm excited. My youngest had to go to prom. He looks so handsome, y'all. And he looks, I kept chuckling to myself because he looks identical as he was little, but with like a little mustache now. It was just so funny to me. But I wanted to give y'all an update about that. And also to let y'all know, we got our hot water heater put in. It is so nice, I tell you. We went from a 28-gallon hot water heater to a 40-gallon. Oh my goodness, the difference. Not to mention, now that we have the new hot water heater, I am 99% sure that hot water heater we had was fixing to go out, if it wasn't already going out when we moved in here, because I can actually turn the hot water on now. Turn on the hot water. I think I said that wrong. But I can turn on the hot water now and about burn myself. I actually have to put in some cold water with it because it's just that hot now, which I'm ecstatic about. I don't even know how to express how happy I am about that little tidbit right there, because since we moved in to the house, like, I could do dishes without adding any cold water. So that, I think that right there should told us that the hot water heater wasn't that great. But we made it work until we were able to replace it, and we did. We got our sink put in, and oh my goodness, this sink, y'all, is so beautiful. I kid y'all not. It is. I love it to pieces. If I can, I'm going to take a really nice picture. And then if we can figure out how to include a picture of it right here, I'm going to try. Because it is just so nice. Kenny was laughing at me earlier saying that you just going to stand there and wait for a dish to get dirty just so you can wash it. I was like, oh my goodness, of course I am. Because I love my sink. He worked so hard to get that put in. And all I did, which I gotta say, it was hard enough as it was to put in the glass washer that I got, the little thing that you go boop and it cleans your glass. I installed that myself. All by myself. But anyway, it's in and it's beautiful and all that. I'm so excited. But I had to give y'all an update while I was getting ready. Not even done with my makeup yet. Look, I barely got my foundation on. But I had to give y'all a quick update. And we'll be back with some more. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think about the background so far. Do we need to change the color of the lights? I don't know. We're trying. We're working at it here, y'all. We working. Thanks y'all so much. Y'all have a great day. Don't forget to make somebody smile. Even if it's somebody you don't know, it could mean the world to them. Y'all have a great day. Stay positive. We'll catch you on the next one. Bye.